The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 11 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships, offering Buick GMC, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, and the resale division, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Penfield, Fairport, Canandaigua, Ontario, and Palmyra, and online at visionauto.com. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us for this special edition of the Vision High School Sports Beat as we look back at some of our favorite stories from the just completed winter sports season. I'm Bill Pucko. We begin with our weekly honor roll of high school teams, which is brought to you by Cellino and Barnes. The honor roll of high school teams is brought to you by Cellino and Barnes.
Cellino and Barnes, injury attorneys, call 888-8888.
Don't wait, call or text 8.
Here's our honor roll of high school teams. At number 3, Mercy Girls Basketball. The Monarchs played into the state Class A Final Four, stopped in the semifinals by Jamesville DeWitt. Treva Breedlove scored 23 points for Mercy, and she's among the 4 returning starters for next year. The team finished 22-4. At number 2, Pittsford Hockey. Like Mercy, the Panthers advanced into the state semifinals where they lost to Mamaroneck 5-2. And at number 1, Aquinas Boys Basketball, completing the historic state championship double. Little Irish became the first school in New York to win both the state football and basketball crowns in the same year. Aquinas beat defending champion Shenendehowa in the semifinals, coming from 5 down in the last 20 seconds to force overtime, and then crushed Middletown in the final 68-50. Which brings us to our Cariglio's Pizza Team of the Week. The Cariglio's Pizza Team of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Cariglio's Pizza, with 5 convenient locations throughout Rochester. Cariglio's Pizza, a proud supporter of high school athletics. We're looking at our top stories of the winter season, and that brings us to Penfield and a story on the Patriots' dominant girls basketball team and a philosophy that helped them become so. Here's Kim Burnson.
For most teams, a successful season is defined by what you see on the stat sheet, the number of games you win, or a top ranking. For Coach Mark Vogt and the ladies of the Penfield varsity basketball team, those stats are kept hidden. The girls don't know how many points they average, how many rebounds they get, nor how many games they've won. That's because for them, success begins before they step onto the court.
I brought the 3 captains in and I said, this is what I'm thinking. Every year we have a team motto. And one year it was Sun Tzu, the art of war. The battle is won before it is ever fought, which means practice is where games are won. And this one we talked about, and the kids liked it so much they all went and they researched it themselves and came back. Apparently the Celtics had this same motto when the Doc Rivers and the Big Three won the championship about 8 years ago.
That motto is Ubuntu, a South African term that means I am who I am because of who we all are. For this team, it takes a sense of community to achieve success, and every teammate has bought into it.
We spend a lot of time together in the off season, and we're all friends on and off the court. So basically Ubuntu, we're all together all the time, we all connect really well, we're all friends, and everyone, it just moved from our friendships, it moves onto the court.
We're all just such good friends off of the court, and that it really translates into practice, into games, because everyone's just really picking each other up, and that's important.
I try not to be selfish on the court. I know my teammates are just as talented as me, and I can trust them all the time, so I always pass them the ball because I know that they'll always have my back and they're willing to score.
So far, that team unity has helped put them well on track to becoming one of the best defensive teams in Penfield history. The record was set back in 2011, giving up an average of 35 points a game. This year, they've kept their opponents to 32 points a game and hold a record of 19-1.
One of their goals in the preseason was we want to be the best defensive team Penfield's ever had. And so it's a big source of pride, and it was their goal. But I said, if it is your goal, then I'm going to hold you accountable, and they really hold themselves accountable. This team's told me that you can still be competitive and supportive and encouraging, and and really looking out for each other. So they taught me a lot about how basketball, you can be successful in many different ways.
I'm Kim Bertson with the Vision High School Sports Beat.
Penfield won the sectional crown before being upset in the regional round of the state playoffs. When we return, HAC pays homage to a former teammate, and later Kim Bertson rejoins us with our Wegmans Making the Grade nominee. When the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Vision High School Sports Beat as we look back at some of our favorite stories from the just completed winter sports season. Time now for our Honor Roll of High School Athletes, which is brought to you by Injury Free Coalition for Kids. Driving's a lot like the game of baseball. It's the one who gets home safely that counts. Please remember to always wear your seatbelt and to focus only on driving when behind the wheel of a car. This message courtesy of the Allstate Foundation and Injury Free Coalition for Kids Smart Teen Driving Program. Here's our Honor Roll of High School Athletes. At number 3, Kelsey Shawless of the state Class C girls basketball champion South Seneca Falcons. Kelsey was the tournament's outstanding player, scored 21 in the semifinals and another 21 points in the championship game win over Pine Plains. At number 2, Molly Stewart of the state Class B girls champion, the Livonia Bulldogs. Molly scored 15 in the semifinal win and 33 in the championship game victory over West Hill. And at number 1, Aquinas State Championship boys basketball and Jalen Pickett. Pickett got 28 in the final against Middletown to earn the Class AA tournament MVP honor. And now World Gym Rochester and World Gym Greece present our Athlete of the Week. World Gym Rochester and World Gym Greece are proud supporters of high school athletics. Memberships start as low as $1 down and $10 a month. For more details, go to worldgymrochester.com and worldgymgreece.com. He was a star basketball player at Harley Allendale Columbia. Now he needs the team's help on the night they played for Jameer. To see him, you couldn't know that 20-year-old Jameer Avery was once, not that long ago, one of the top athletes at Harley Allendale Columbia. A varsity basketball player for 6 seasons, Jameer was all-league, his team's MVP, and an exceptional senior game participant. That all changed last spring in a serious car accident on Route 490 when Avery was headed back to Genesee Community College.
You have to take the victories that he has, moving his arms or squeezing your hand or watching you as you're talking to him. That's the process, not expecting too much too soon, know it's going to be a long road and deal with it appropriately. It was very difficult when I would communicate back to the team and former players about what's going on, but the outpouring of love from the community, the HAC community, the Harley, the Allendale community, is just overwhelming. I mean, we were doing this fundraiser for him, and people are just really opening their hearts and their wallets for it.
HAC played Marcus Whitman and designated it Jameer Avery Night. Proceeds from the fundraiser were put toward a state-of-the-art wheelchair ramp for his home. Everyone wore number 35 warm-ups in Jameer's honor. Senior A.J. Torrey, the last of Avery's former teammates still playing, wears it in the game as a team tribute.
I just remember he was a huge influence, not only on myself because I was a young freshman, but on our whole team, which was mainly comprised of sophomores. And he was just energetic, loud, and he was just there every day. He was just really funny and a great guy. And especially as a young kid, being pulled up to varsity as a freshman, I was just in awe kind of him all the time. And the fact he was very accepting of me as a freshman on the varsity team was just great for me.
What's it mean to you to wear his number?
It's just a huge honor, especially because I was voted to have that number by my team. So it means that my team thinks I deserve that number, and that I kind of embody the the hard work that he played with, and that's just a huge honor.
They played the game for Jameer. This was his night, his family's night.
He knows that we're around. I'm in his face all the time. My daughter even tells me, get out of his face. But he does a lot of hand gestures. He follows us with his eyes. He does some moaning and groaning, and that's a lot compared to where he was after the accident.
Together, the Averys soldier on.
It's tough, I see my son, my oldest son, not being able to communicate to me like he was used to being able to. But as a mother, I give him the world. I got to do what I got to do. So with the support that I have with my family right here, we do it.
Up next, Kim with our Making the Grade nominee before we head out to RIT to revisit the stars of the local indoor track season in our Dunkin' Donuts All-Sport High School Game of the Week. Revisited when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Welcome back to the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for Making the Grade, brought to you by Wegmans. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field.
This week we head out to Webster, where senior Casey Rue is making the grade. As a three-sport athlete at Webster Schrader High School, Casey has mastered a tough balance of homework and training. She begins every school year with tennis in the fall, then moves on to basketball, and then rounds out her year with lacrosse in the spring. She's received second-team All-County in both basketball and lacrosse and was named MVP for both teams. She's also received honorable mention for tennis. Last year, Casey earned the U.S. Lacrosse honor of becoming an academic All-American in her junior season. She's a National Honor Society member enrolled in multiple AP classes and helps compile a portion of the yearbook through Yearbook Club. During her summers, she assists at various camps where she coaches youth sports like basketball and lacrosse. Next fall, Casey looks to extend her education as well as her lacrosse career. She'll be attending Wingate University to play Division II lacrosse down in North Carolina. She also plans on studying nursing as a major. For her impressive role as captain of multiple varsity teams and outstanding academics, this week Casey Rue of Webster Schrader is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. You can send them in to info@classywolf.com. Now here's Bill with the Sylvan Learning Section 5 calendar.
Our Section 5 calendar is brought to you by Sylvan Learning, delivering results in reading, math, writing, study skills, SAT and ACT prep, and more. 4 area locations. Call 385-9480. Here's what's happening this week on our Sylvan Learning Section 5 calendar. The spring sports season officially begins this week with the first actual games. Tuesday, it's girls lacrosse. Gates Chili at Aquinas kicks things off at 6 o'clock. You have to wait till next week for baseball. A week from Monday, Greece Olympia does the first game honors, as the Spartans are scheduled to host Monroe at 4 o'clock. And you really have to hand it to Batavia for optimism in scheduling not just the first, but the first 2 local softball games. The Blue Devils are at Albion a week from Tuesday at 4:30 and then open at home against Pembroke the very next day, Wednesday, March the 30th, also at 4:30. And the traditional start for the local outdoor track and field season is the Spring Sensation in Waterloo. That's Saturday, April the 9th. And that's our Sylvan Learning Section 5 calendar for the week ahead. Thomas, Watson, and Ellis, the track and field stars, were shining at the Trent Jackson Cedric Walker Invitational in our Dunkin' Donuts All Sports High School Game of the Week segment when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Sign Impressions is more than just signs. It's a total graphics company. Embroidery, screen printing, team apparel, t-shirts, jackets, hats, and of course banners and signs. Visit signimpressions.com. Call us at 723-0420 to order your team or corporate apparel. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat Special Edition as we look back on some of our favorite stories from the just completed winter sports season. It is time now for our All Sports Dunkin' Donuts High School Game of the Week. The bigger the burrito, the bigger the fun. Dunkin's new Grande Burrito, a breakfast burrito packed with big Southwest flavor. Go Grande with veggie or sausage today. America runs on Dunkin'. Over the course of the indoor track season, the best of the best get together for a few big meets. The Trent Jackson Cedric Walker Memorial Invitational is one of those. We revisit that meet held back in January. It is our Dunkin' Donuts All Sport High School Game of the Week. There's always a degree of uncertainty surrounding relay events, especially this one. The 4x200 relay, the 7th of 7 heats, brought together the best 6 of 25 boys teams, any of which could have won. The middle 3, Rush Henrietta, McQuaid, and Greece Olympia were the favorites, with Gates, Thomas, and UPrep all vying for honors. into the third lap. Halfway home, Olympia, behind Alpha Berry and Shane Presley, was the leader. Terry Taylor took the baton for the Spartans.
Alpha did a good job of getting us out in front. Then Shane did a good job of extending it. All I had to do was basically hold on to it, or try to with my best. This is my first year in the 4x2. They introduced me to it because they were missing a leg who graduated.
Taylor handed off to anchor Tremaine Moore, with Olympia running second just behind McQuaid.
I knew I had it when I came next to him right here, because I knew I can pass him, so I made my move again and passed him at the finish line.
Olympia won in meet record time, less than a second ahead of both McQuaid and RH.
To see them come full circle and to see what they're doing in their individual events is incredible. Terry's #1 in the state. Trey's the fastest, I think the fastest in Section 5. Alpha's amazing, going to Columbia. These boys are incredible.
We needed it. We had a bad 2 weeks coming in, so we want to move up in the state range. That's always our goal, to be one of the top teams in the state.
This was the 4th annual Trent Jackson Cedric Walker Invitational, founded by the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, of which they both belonged, a varsity-only event in honor of the two giants of local track and field.
With Trent being an Olympian, it's a big impact. There were always people going to him as a resource for track and field. And with Cedric coaching the national team and having world records with the national team, a lot of today's kids were going to Cedric. He actually guided a lot of the Section 5 kids through college to Division I schools in track and field.
Nice to have a meet in their honor, you think?
It's really nice to have a meet in their honor.
The meet became a showcase for 3 area girls whose skills give them national notoriety. Erica Ellis of Gates Chili is a mere 9th grader, but the top-ranked pole vaulter in her age group in the country. She cleared 12 feet to win the meet before taking 3 unsuccessful shots at the Section 5 record of 12.7.
I can't put it in words. I don't think it's hit me yet. I'm close to it, and I want to get close to it. So.
Do you spend any time thinking about you're becoming a national figure in track and field here? It makes you kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Like I said, it hasn't hit me yet, so it's still hitting me right now that I'm where I am today.
Just a sophomore, Lene Tava Thomas is among the top sprinters in the country. Thomas is the national leader at 55 meters, and in this meet, twice broke the 7-second mark. She already holds a state record in that event, along with the Section 5 record in the long jump.
I'm really hoping to go to nationals for 3 events. So just knowing that I could get up there and place and be All-American in all 3 would be really nice.
Fellow Comet Sammy Watson was the center of attention in the 600-meter run. Watson doesn't race to win. She runs against the clock, and in this case was attempting to lower her own personal and national best in the event, which she did, finishing in 1:31.38, besting the meet record by her since graduated sister Sierra Watson by better than 6 seconds. I saw you looking up at the time when you came down that final lap. You must have been pleased at what you saw.
Yeah, I try not to look, but the clock is so big. So yeah, I saw 128, 129. So just trying to finish strong.
How cool is it being such a national track and field figure this year?
It's really nice, and everybody knows my name, so I think that's really cool. I always wanted to be remembered.
Thomas, Watson, and Ellis combined to win 5 individual state championships this winter. We'd like to thank our Sports Beat sponsors,
especially the 11 dealerships in the Vision Automotive Group. They make the Sports Beat possible.
As do you. Thanks once again for watching. We'll see you next week with the Vision Automotive Group's High School Sports Beat.